In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to avoid burnout. For most of us in today's modern world, especially for women, we tend to stretch ourselves a little thin, trying to build a successful, thriving business while able to maintain our households and families. It can feel really overwhelming. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips and tools with you so that you can start to find greater alignment in these aspects of life. So stay tuned. Tip number 1 is becoming aware of the roles and responsibilities that we are being called to play in our day-to-day. For example, at work, what role do we have? What are the functions of that role? And how are we responding to them? For most of us, we feel overly responsible, kind of like that atlas that has the world on her shoulders. And I want to invite you to just put that globe down for a second and recognize that you are not responsible for anything outside of you. You are responsible, able to the people and circumstances around you. We need to learn that when we take responsibility, we're being able to maintain our thoughts, our emotions, and the way that we interact with people and situations around us, versus feeling obligated or resentful because we're trying to solve and fix. This reframe can do absolute wonders to your life. An example of this is if you have children and your child is throwing a tantrum. You are not responsible for the child's behavior. You are responsible to the child and how to be able to meet its need from moment to moment. And the same is true for yourself. Which brings us to step number 2. Learn to fill your own cup. I'm sure that most of you are aware, on an airplane, we're told to put our own oxygen masks on first. And there's a really good reason for this. If you're unconscious, then you can't be of service to anybody else. And this applies to being able to fill your own cup first. For most of us, we're just pouring out, serving, feeding, nourishing everyone else around us. But what about our own personal needs? So in this second step, I invite you to get curious about what are some of the things that help to fill your cup. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? What makes you feel good and nourished? Whether it be a long hot bath, a walk in nature, or a good workout at the gym. What does that for you? Start to get really curious about this. The third step is to become aware of how your body speaks to you. What are the signs and symptoms that are leading to exhaustion? For most people, burnout becomes inevitable because they ignore those early warning signs, the way that the body communicates when it's tired, fatigued, or run down. And instead of, like you would your cell phone, plugging it in for a recharge, we let it run to empty and then wonder why we're getting sick or feeling completely burnt out. So start to become aware of what are those signs and symptoms for you that your body is trying to ask you to slow down. One of the big reasons that we keep going and pushing is because we don't trust that when we actually slow down and become more present and mindful in the way that we're moving through our lives and the things that we're needing to do that day, we don't trust that they'll get done. Instead, we go into our hypermasculine, into action mode and end up doing more. So I invite you to start to recognize that actually when we learn to slow down, we actually speed up. So here are some extra tips to help you to heal from burnout if you're already there, but also to avoid it altogether. Make sure to get a regular self-care. This could be something as simple as a long hot bath or a wonderful massage. Taking care of yourself is not at all selfish. So make sure to prioritize and take time for you. Drop some comments below on some of the ways that you love to fill your cup. Thank you for watching, and if you've liked this video, then like and subscribe to be notified for future videos.